since we are time bad, but I know knowing each other is also very important. But we are going to use a very unique format of introducing each other here. Then after that, we shall kickstart our session. Yes, sir. I see your hand up. Okay, thank you.
So, what we're going to do, this is the person going to do awareness.
Yes, he's around.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, but it has to be awareness.
Thank you. Okay, I've been corrected. Thank you. Our program is very long, but like I said, we are already late and we shall have to run very fast. At least by 2:03, we must be out of this place. We shall kickstart our session today with a training, very brief one. 30 minutes are enough for our trainer to speak to us. And then, after the training, straight away, we shall go into elections. I told you I'm the outgoing speaker. The speaker, so we shall have to get a speaker who will again roll us into the house. So for starters, that's how we shall move. And you know, when I came, I phone people campaigning. That's the healthy, for as long as you don't exchange money. Thank you. So we in front of us, we have a guest. But before that, I know there is a lot we all expect. Today I received a call at around 8. Somebody told me that, so you have a parliament in Mbale today? Is among around. I told the person who called me that you come and experience how young people will be exchanging ideas. I'm one of the people who have benefited a lot from this platform, because Youth Parliament is a platform to young people like me and you. I've always told many people of my age group that for us young people, we need a platform to showcase our abilities, a platform to show the world that we also can, a platform to prove to those who doubt that indeed young people are solutions, not problems. You know, very many people have different perceptions of young people, and it is us, me and you here, to change the thinking that indeed young people are not problems, like the way many people outside there believe. It is me and you to change that kind of, you know, reasoning, especially in our elders. There is a way they brand us, especially when you try to challenge them. So it is us, through platforms like Youth Parliament, to show that yes, we really can. We really also can contribute positively to the decision makings of our societies. So last year, I was elected here as a speaker. Lucky enough, I was given an opportunity. I also went to National Parliament as a delegate. I didn't stop there. I was also given another opportunity to go to East African Parliament, still to represent you. And from there is a lot. I don't want to list all the benefits, but like I told you, a platform, it depends on how you use it. So I want to welcome all of you here, but still, as we expect a lot, let's try to tame also our expect. You know, young people, in most cases, there is a way we always become of ambitious. I'm not warning you, but just a matter of guidance that we should also tame our expectations. I will not speak much because we're already late. I want to straight away give an opportunity to our trainer. Like I said, we're already late. So 30 minutes are enough for him to talk to us. He's one of us. He's the first beneficiary of Regional Youth Parliament. He's a former young leader. He's a former young leader in Bugisu. Okay. So Mr. Hamza Wamono is one of us. He's a senior youth leader. Mr. Hamza Wamono is the chairperson PAC, Mbale District Local Government. Mr. Hamza Wamono is also a radio commentator, a panelist on almost all radio stations in Mbale. At least every Saturday he participates in all talk shows. You realize that he's the youngest among the panelists, but his submissions are always spot on. Mr. Hamza Wamono is a PhD candidate, and I'm honored to invite him to have a 30-minute session, an engagement with you. Hamza, I want to welcome you to talk to these vocal young men and women from Eastern Uganda. And I will only ask you to attentively listen to him. Then later we shall have an engagement still with him. Like I told you, after him, we shall still straight away roll into elections of the speaker and then go into the house. I don't know where is our IT person to connect the laptop on. Okay. Since Hamza is an expert, please, you're welcome. Let's give a round of applause to our trainer.
I don't know whether this one is working, but even not, I can still project my voice to my colleagues, my compatriots. I've been guided that since it is being live streamed, it is imperative for me to stand, I think, behind this microphone, and then we share experiences. I am going to do two things. I've been invited, one as a trainer, then two as a former youth. And now that to me is more pertinent for me and humbling to speak to you, because I can also share my experiences to all of you as we also learn from you. My name is Hamza Wamono. I am a former youth and a former youth leader. I'm using those two words categorically because they are symbolic in nature. A former youth leader because I led the people of Mbale municipality then. I think, where is Wilson? I saw him somewhere. Then from 2000, I think 9, and then by 2014, I had retired myself away to other things, but still my term of office ended in 2016. And I said, this is enough for me. I can't die serving a youth. Even when there was still an opportunity, because I was still young. I am 33, actually 32 years old. It means that I had a great opportunity to work and serve my country and the youth category. A former youth, because now I am very, very sure that I cannot contest in a youth election now. They say, that old man shouldn't be here. Is it? Because I know, I am very, very aware of the current law. And in fact, it was one of the drives that I and my colleagues, Wilson, then Emma here, then Fazali, and then others. There are very many, very many. We said, then by then I think it was Nalia Nyenre was the chairman of then Mbale district, and very many others. Kachimete was the Secretary of Finance in Sironko, and very many others. So we said, for you, you go. You are old. I think back then, the government of Uganda had taken close to 15 years without electing these youth leaders. So they were serving repeatedly without even any election. So for us, we said, no, you are old. And that's why I'm saying, if it is to be reciprocated today, and the Hamza was seen to be in any of those positions, they will say, but for you, you are also old. So those are the two experiences on that first line of my appearance today here in this forum, the hall, that I would want also to share to you. Before we get to training, I can say that the youth are not the leaders of tomorrow. I think we should shift away from such narrative, because in my thinking, it keeps misleading us. Today, you are 30 years old. By the time you wake up to be a leader of tomorrow, you will be 40, 30, 50, 60. And then other people will say, mwakati mukyali baki bavubuka mugende. And if you seize that opportunity of doing now, then you will not do it tomorrow. I am I must be candid with this, that if the current president, His Excellency General Yoweri Museveni, retired, also felt that he should be a leader of tomorrow, I think he wouldn't be ruling Uganda today. I beg really to, if this offends you, but we must be honest, because we must be frank, and then we see. I want us to see how clearly the picture that we present ourselves now is the one that I would love that my colleagues, you and I, and others that are left outside the periphery, that should you should see this as maybe your opportunity to make things happen now. Because I have seen my colleagues, those we began with, who hoped they would be leaders of tomorrow. Many of them, you can't really trace them where they are. And if you bumped on one or two of them, you wouldn't even really remember that he was part of you. So, why now? Why now? Because you are energetic. You have all the driving factors that can propel you to march on a journey. A journey, whether it means, I've always seen people walking to Namugongo, but these are old people in most cases. I don't see younger people. But now if the old people are walking to Namugongo footing, how about us, the younger people? So the zeal that we should have now is beyond our sitting here. This should give us a platform to even think beyond, or probably to give us impetus on how we can adjust ourselves from that thinking we came with today here, probably to widen our scope, our thinking line. I speak about this passionately because though I am a former youth, but I'm still a younger Ugandan. And I believe that together with us here, we can make things happen for the better of not only Uganda, but the better of Africa. I think for me it is more humbling to say that so. When I look at us today here, and those who are not here, I see a very huge opportunity that if democracy detects, or the objects of democracy demands that there should be representation because democracy is a Greek, came from a Greek word, demo. Demo means people. Then Korase meaning governance. Now, if demo is us, or demos as they would want to call it, of all the millions of people who are younger leaders in this region, in this sub-region, you are the only few ones who are here. That itself gives us another opportunity that if God chose us to serve, then we should do it without any fallback. But leadership, I am also aware that youth leadership is just a training ground. It has nothing like a budget that you will have. You'll sit in an office and then you share this. Maybe you have fuel, maybe you have salary or allowance and so forth. Openly speaking, it is not there. But it gives you an opportunity to train you. In fact, countries which have progressed, not Uganda, because Uganda is the only country where I have seen us who are seated here, who have been younger leaders, who cannot be called to the dining table, and then they say, now we trained this one. So if you went to China, those who can access this data, you can. But if you went to China today, historically, for them, you cannot serve in any position if you have never served, if themselves they have not trained you from your youthful age. If you went to all these countries that you hear, apart from I think in Africa, I am yet to find out other countries, but let me speak to the one I know most, Uganda. It is, if we are to build democracy and good governance in this country, the resources should be invested in people like us, the youth leaders who are serving now, right away from our institutions of learning to now. Because what we are seeing today is somebody comes out from somewhere without even expecting him, and is in the parliament legislating laws. He doesn't know anything about laws, or even he can't speak. He can't even raise. Some of them tremble. You see them quaking when they get a microphone, and then they start sweating. But they are living people like you who have been groomed. The investment that these organizations have put in you is wasted if they have not got the proceeds. The only outcome of their investment, I think, I don't know whether that is true, my colleagues, is when you have been trained like we are going to do this, then tomorrow we see you as a member of parliament representing your constituency, or a district LC5 chairman, or a mayor, or a minister, or a PS, or anybody else useful to this country. That's the work of NGOs. And to me, I will speak passionately because I am also a civil society activist. I'm a member of the NGO. I know that as we invest most, we would want to get results. So what differentiates us as younger people from those is that probably there are two things that I would want to imagine. Why Uganda has not benefited from you as youth leaders. I think we should look at that, Faraja. We should see that and think through it. Why? Is it because of the lukewarm attitude that maybe these ones should just be as voting machines, campaigning tools, and so forth? But now why do you legislate a law to have the youth come into leadership? You give them opportunity, you train them, and tomorrow you are bringing somebody who has never been a leader, who has never been an NLC, or a family leader, and then is in the parliament. So for me, my appeal to that, as I conclude on that, is to have a country where the younger leaders should be groomed, but also positioned and deployed and supported into mainstream politics. I am so sure that where you came from, where you lead, you have many of your former youth leaders who are not in any way of any political space. I am so sure on that. But why? It's because of the current political dynamics in the country, where younger leaders have been pushed towards the wall, and they are only remembered towards campaign period that they value. But now, how do we shift away from such? Is when us here can think and understand that we can also be better leaders, not only youth leaders, but better leaders. Because you are in leadership, youth leadership, to be the leader of tomorrow, if I may go back to such. However, for me, I think you are a leader of today. And it pains for sure. It pains because I have seen so many investments, many countless times. I myself, I have participated as an active youth, and then also I relegated myself to passivity because I couldn't understand the gymnastics of me being active momentarily when I cannot be active all throughout. I can say that please, Faraja, GIZ, Action Aid, European Union, then the government of Uganda, and all able-bodied well-wishers who think good for us as younger people. The only proceeds, the only success they count in their investment is when we become useful tomorrow, so that we can be hosted somewhere and then we can be showcased as an example of their investments. Fear less, fear not about the duty to serve. Don't shy away from demanding to contest against that member of parliament who is old, that because you will be seen as an enemy. I think politics has now gone back to such a level where if Navende Fazali, Wilson, and so forth. Wilson, I am happy that in your division you have a youth member of parliament, you see. But before that, you used to see that any attempts to contest against Honorable who? Wamai. You see? And it has spilled over to the entire nation. So why should we wait when we are almost dying before we say we are attempting? So I think that my only experience I can share with you is that throughout in my engagement from 2009 to 2015 there, when I exited, I look at my colleagues whom we began with and I can smile at least. Wilson is one of them, is there. There are very many. They are here. Asmin, the current RDC of Mbale. There are very many. When I am the current chairman, Local Government Public Accounts Committee of Mbale, before city seeded, I mean we created a city, I was both Mbale and the city because Mbale was still one. But when my name appeared, I said, hey, this younger man, how do you entrust this leadership, this sensitive position to a younger, they were calling me a boy. Then one minister came, whom I cannot mention. I said, hey, he asked me, so we're interacting. I said, hey, chairman, but why did you choose to be in the league of old people and the pensioners? Because it has never been seen anywhere in this country that these boards and commissions can be led by younger people. Now, why? It's because of that thinking, that rudimentary thinking, that younger people cannot lead. Younger people cannot do anything useful. So it is this appeal that I want you, my sisters, my brothers, to think through about it, to understand, to see why you need this social change. There is an opportunity that has been opened. I think in 2017, we were alive then when the constitution was amended. That now you are free as long as you have reached the voting age to contest to the position of the presidency. Is it true or false? Then why? Why don't you try? By the way, how will you be known that you also you are desirous to serve Uganda if you have not tried? I think for me that was a milestone.